Biggest disappointments of the year 2016. Part 1. The Galaxy Note 7. The Galaxy Note 7 was released in August 2016. It was one of the most awaited phones of 2016 after the huge success of the Galaxy S7 earlier that year. The Galaxy Note 7 belongs to the Note series of devices from Samsung. These devices are usually the most powerful Android devices each year. The Galaxy Note devices have been great rivals to Apple's iPhone for years. This year Samsung tried to hinder the iPhone sales as it released its Galaxy Note 7 in August, 1 month before the release date of Apple iPhone 7. The Galaxy Note 7 was acclaimed by many critics for its eye-catching design, powerful performance and its productive features owing to its unique stylus. But fate cannot be altered. After its initial launch, there were 35 incidents of the phone exploding due to battery defects. Samsung had to then recall around 1 million devices. Samsung then replaced the batteries of some phones, calling them safe to use. But after the explosion of the replaced phone, Samsung announced a recall for all the Galaxy Note 7 phones it had sold. It's a shame that we have to see mobile phones exploding even today after such humongous improvement in the technology, and that too from a reputable company Samsung.
Biggest disappointments of the year 2016. Part 2. Windows Phone 10 OS. Windows 10 operating system for mobile phones has been struggling since their launch in terms of the market share in the smartphone industry. This is because they were late to enter the OS race. The first device running Windows Phone OS was the Lumia 610, released on October 26, 2011, running Windows 7.5 OS, whereas the first device running iOS was the iPhone 1, launched on June 29, 2007, and the first phone running Android OS was the HTC Dream One, which was launched on October 22, 2008. So the Windows Phone OS lagged behind the Android OS and iOS by 3 and 4 years respectively. The Windows OS was always less mature than the other two OS for this reason. Many features that were already popular and demanding on Android and iOS usually absent and arrived late on the Windows Phone. Many popular app developers ignored Windows Phone OS for its very low daily active users. For example, since Facebook and Twitter did not create apps for Windows Phone, Microsoft had to develop these apps on its own. As a result of that, the App Store on Windows OS always lacked quality apps. Windows Phone also did not have applications that were developed by Google, such as Gmail or YouTube. Yes, its App Store has a YouTube app, but this app was developed by Microsoft. This made it almost impossible for an Android user to switch to a Windows Phone. The last Windows Phone was launched in February 2016, which is no surprise considering how miserable Windows Phone is struggling to survive in the smartphone industry. Many stakeholders are of the opinion that Microsoft should abandon the Windows Phone project and focus on profitable divisions of the company. Microsoft is said to be working currently on a new Windows Phone, which is said to be developed by the Surface team. The Surface team was responsible for the creation of the Microsoft's successful Surface PC lineup. Probably this is the last chance for Windows Phone to create something extraordinary that might help increase its market share and to stay in the smartphone industry. Biggest disappointments of the year 2016. Part 3. Solarin. Solarin is a $14,000 smartphone that was launched in May 2016 by Solarin. It features a 5.5-inch touchscreen display with a screen resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. The Solarin runs on octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor, and it comes with 4 GB of RAM. It has 128 GB of internal storage and has a 23.8 primary camera and an 8-megapixel front camera for taking selfies. The Solarin runs Android 5.1 and is powered by a 4040 mAh non-removable battery. The smartphone weighs around 250 grams. Solarin is protected by mobile security app from security expert Zimperium. The company has partnered with CoolSpan to integrate chip-to-chip 256 bits encryption. The handset has a special security switch at the back. When the security switch is flipped, it activates the shielded mode where the calls and the messages made by the user are fully encrypted. Though its specifications are not that bad, except the OS version, compared to current flagship smartphones, what differentiates it from them is its price. The phone costs a whopping $14,000. If you are wondering how much that is, bear in mind that the costliest iPhone, the iPhone 7 Plus, costs $969. So this means that this phone is more than 14 times the cost of the costliest iPhone phone. We can easily say that it will be beyond the affordability of a common man, and even a rich man would think many times before buying it. Honestly speaking, we are confused to whom this kind of super secret phone might be helpful. Yes, the phone is very much secure as mentioned above, but you could just buy a BlackBerry handset instead of spending $14,000 on a phone. The shielded mode will be helpful for sending secret messages, but there doesn't seem to be any reason for using such a technology unless you are doing something illegal or you are a spy, but the latter seems to be unlikely.
Biggest disappointments of the year 2016. Part 4. The new MacBook Pro with Touch Bar 2016. MacBook Pro was launched in October 2016. While there is a significant improvement in the new MacBooks as compared to the previous generations in terms of its performance and form factor, it comes with a few tweaks. In the new MacBook Pro, all the 3 USB ports have been replaced by Thunderbolt port, USB-C. However, all the gadgets in the market are built to be compatible with the USB 3 port. So what Apple is basically conveying that, as you have shed a lot of money purchasing the new MacBook, you can afford to buy the adapter. Yes, the new Thunderbolt port is wickedly faster, but you have to pay the price to use it. You will require adapters to connect your laptop to any device. This will make the device very inconvenient to use at glutted public places. You will have to shed out at least $9 to buy a USB adapter, and if your necessities are more, you have to spend more. For example, you have to buy special adapters to get functions of the SD card slot, HDMI port, etc. That's a huge amount for any person paying for basic functions. You also have a variant of the new MacBook Pro which includes a miniature touchscreen which Apple proudly calls the Touch Bar. It is a strip located above the keyboard in place of the function keys. When I heard about the Touch Bar for the first time, it seemed to be an incredible piece of tech. But I soon realized Microsoft has done the same and done it better by providing a full-screen touch laptop through its Surface series of laptops. Yes, the new Touch Bar provides better functionality when compared to the function keys owing to its ability to change as per requirement. For example, you can use it to scroll a video sideways while editing a video or to choose emojis without the use of an on-screen keyboard. But it can never be able to compete against the full touch screen in terms of usability. Is it worth to buy the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar? If you want to buy MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, we would first recommend you to consider the hybrid laptop series before taking a decision. This is because the hybrid laptops will provide better functionality with their full touch screen. Also, if you want a laptop for traditional purposes, we recommend you to go for the model without the Touch Bar as it costs $300 less.
Biggest disappointments of the year 2016. Part 5. Pokémon Go. Pokémon Go is an augmented reality game released for Android and iOS platforms on 6 July 2016 by Niantic. There was a huge hype surrounding the game at the time of its launch. The game reached its highest number of active users per day, 40 million to 45 million by 19th-21st of July. It lost one-third of its daily users by the middle of August. Its daily revenues fell from $16 per day to $2 million. The daily downloads also plunged from 27 million to 700,000. Lack of awareness or the inability of the developers to inculcate the elements which made the Pokémon TV show and console games a huge success. The game was all about collecting Pokémons and winning gym battles. We could not train our Pokémon nor could we battle amongst our friends. This took out much of the competition from the game and many casual users deserted the game. Eventually, even a few of the regular players left after some time due to the monotonous nature of the game, eventually leading to boredom. The earlier console games on Pokémon could be played anywhere at any time and did not even require an internet connection. Pokémon Go requires the internet and you would have to roam around the city to catch new Pokémon. The game is based on first-come first-service and your luck rather than your skill. The game was not made for the office workers and busy university students as you have to wander the city to find different types of Pokémon. So due to lack of the depth of the concept of Pokémon included in the game and failing to involve the working class or busy students led to declining in the success of the game.